What is happening, people of the world? Welcome back to episode 6 of Low Tide. Yes, and the only reason why I remember that is because I had to set everything up. Why did I have to set everything up? Because I'm missing 3 people. 1, 2, 3. So you know what? Jesse, he's doing whatever Jesse's doing. Tyler, he's doing whatever Tyler's doing. And Luke he's doing whatever Luke's doing. So you know what the good thing is? I'm going to do whatever I have to do to provide the sports knowledge for the people out there. Low Tide episode 6. It has been 2 weeks of no football. Of no basketball. It has been 2 weeks of no hockey. You don't know anything that's going on if you watch this podcast for that information. Also, we got to talk about the World Series. I just saw a text from Jesse Carter that said, give me 10. So I will be joined by somebody shortly. I can promise you that. But it works because the very first thing that I have to start off with today is hockey. So we will just get right into that right now.
I think that, you want me to be completely honest? Yeah. Last time I...
Some room between the legs. 13:57 of the third.
Yeah.
Speaking of countries,
That's Capitals.
Get to the garbage some much. Speak on the top of my brother's blood. None of these niggas get trust. We cannot question, you know what it was. But what you going for us? You get this back 'cause I'm putting in work. Like I speak fluent in Rush. Did you catch that?
Alrighty. So now with that being said, we're going to get into some puck. We're going to get into some NHL news because the people don't even know what's happening in the NHL world. So that's why, like I said before, I'm here to provide that. Bada bing, bada boom, and we're into the NHL. Also, as I'm scrolling through this, side note for Tyler, we have a banner for every single sport but puck. Don't know if that's just a little shot at puck, but I mean, we have NFL, we have NBA, we have MLB. Wait a minute. Nope, that's UFC. That's a shot. I'm just saying. But we'll keep it on this. First thing that I have to get into is the Coyotes and their brand new arena at Mullet Arena. The only reason why we're even getting into this is because, first off, you watch an NHL game at a college game. It's something that people are going to talk about, no matter if it's one time or it's going to be for a whole season. But in this case, it's a whole season. Now, for Mullet Arena, they gave away mullets. It was cool. The Coyotes lost the game. That isn't what matters. The Coyotes are playing really bad puck right now. But they said that they talked to the fans about the experience, what it was like at the Coyotes game, and how that first game went and how the games have went. And they have said that university students dressed like pineapples and a banana and the character from Squid Games. And they continued to beat a drum line the entire game that provided the soundtrack for the home opener. So I'll tell you this. They also said that people there were not Coyotes fans. The 4,600 people were Arizona State fans. So you got a bunch of drunk college students that are coming into the game. And the question that I was going to ask for the people today was going to be, do you think this is good just because you have a bunch of drunk, crazy people that are just going to show up to your game and be wild, even though they don't really give a shit about your team or what's going on? Or do you want people that actually have knowledge about what's going on? Because sometimes you have a bunch of drunk people that are just yelling shoot all game. That's irritating, you know? And that's the question that I want to bring up. And because the only person that's here is me, I'm going to answer it. So to follow up that question that I just asked, I'm going to answer that shit. And here's what I think. I think the fact that you have a bunch of drunk college kids at your game that are probably going to be yelling to shoot and maybe not knowing what's going on, and as long as they understand the rule of hockey, I think it's a good thing. I think you're going to get money in your pockets when it comes to the concession revenue. I think that you're going to get a bunch of attendance in there. It's not hard to fill 4,600 people. But when the Coyotes are playing the shit hockey they're playing, it might actually be hard. So those people are just going to be easy numbers that are just there to fucking have a good time because it's on college campus. But that's how I feel about it. And I think that the Arizona Coyotes are going to be a bad team, but they're going to be a fun team because that's an atmosphere that you want to be in because it's like college hockey. All right, staying on NHL. I want the people to know that I don't have the most news out of the 3 major sports for NHL because I don't follow this the most. So you're going to get what you fucking get with me. And you also got to remember, this is 2 weeks of nothing. So bits and pieces are just going to keep flying in and out of here. So first thing that I'll just get into that is up here after the Arizona Coyotes, is Alex Ovechkin. He's been playing fantastic hockey to start the season. He scored a goal the other night against the Wings, even though the Wings won, and he has now tied Gordie Howe for the most goals with one team ever. And I believe that he is going to pass that record. That is another record and another fucking feather in the cap of Ovi. So we love to see it. Round of applause to him, Alex Ovechkin. Congratulations on still being a stud this year. And you've tied a record. But I'm just giving you the praise now because I'm not going to come on this podcast in a week and say you broke it because you're going to break it the next time you step on the ice. I'm not. This is just what you do. So let's not play that game here. All right. Next thing that I want to talk about is a couple of the teams that have been having hot starts, and I want to talk about whether or not this is beginning of the season luck in the first 2 weeks, or this is a team that is just going to be absolutely dominant this year, and they're starting off out of 10. The perfect example of that I will start with is Boston. They're 10-1. They have a lineup that, even though you may be thinking, okay, it's getting older, it doesn't really mean shit. Because even though it's getting older, these players, they're not getting down. They're staying where they need to stay. It's like Chicago should take fucking notes. But Boston is playing great hockey defensively. They're also playing great hockey offensively. Their differential for goals is plus 22. That is offense on offense all game. And I'll tell you what, they're in a division here where there isn't a whole lot of other competition other than Tampa in their conference. So I think that they're going to be in a really good spot here to go on a run if they continue to play like this all year. I would put them under the category of a team that is a fucking dog this year. So watch out for them. But right underneath them is a team that's in that conference and is somehow ahead of Tampa, and it's the Buffalo Sabres. Now, Buffalo is 7-3. I've been watching a lot of their games this year, and I have been continuing to watch them be the underdog and continuing to watch them win. They got a 3-game win streak as I'm talking to you right now. They have the same amount of goals allowed as Boston does, who has the record that I just told you about, 10-1. They're playing great defensive hockey as well. Their goaltending has been standing on its head and been surprising me and a lot of other people as well. And their young stars I feel like they're finally producing. They still can't fill up half the arena. The attendance is absolutely shit, but they've been playing good hockey. And I don't know how long that's going to last in Buffalo, so I'm going to put them in limbo. They're in the middle category. Maybe they could be good this year, but chances are they're going to flop because they're still Buffalo. And now another team that I want to get to. And the only reason why is because, yes, this podcast is based in Michigan. Yes, my team is the Red Wings. So I'm going to talk about the Red Wings, okay? They're 5-3-2. And it took them a long time to finally lose in regulation. And I'm just going to tell you what I think. We're not making playoffs this year, and we're going to have a 500 year. We're going to be decent, but it's not going to be anything too exciting. That's my notes. Luke and Tyler will probably come on here and tell you something very similar, very different. But from my opinion, I'm seeing nothing new other than one thing. And that is the fact that offensively, we can help out our goalies when they're putting up 6-7 goals a game because, Jesus, that Buffalo game was horrible. And if you know, you know, it was god-awful. Moving on. The Devils, they're 8-3. I thought they were going to be shit this year. I thought they were going to have a really bad year. They're 8-3. They're sitting above Carolina, who's 7-2. Carolina's going to be a good team this year. The Rangers, who started off super hot, they've now fallen back to 6-4. I mean, this conference with Washington and Pittsburgh and the Rangers and the Islanders and all of that, the fact that New Jersey's sitting on top at 8-3, I do not think will last long. So I'm going to put them in the category of just a matter of time until they fuck up. It's the matter of time until they fuck up. You're actually good and limbo. They're going to fuck up, and it's only a matter of time. Next team I want to get into, I only got 2 more, and it's Vegas, 10-2, and I think they're just legit. I think last year they had an off year because, you know what? When you come into the league and you've only been in the league 3-4 years, every year you can't just keep getting better, okay? There's going to be a year where you have to fall off. It's going to happen, and it did happen last year. But this year, with Jack Eichel healthy and playing great hockey, they are 10-2. Pietrangelo been playing great. Their goal differential is leading the Pacific Conference by 10 goals. They're on a 6-game win streak right now as I talk to you. I think Vegas is just going to be a fucking another run for the cup. They have another studded lineup, and I think that they're going to be a bunch of dogs. So shout out to Vegas. And then the last team that I want to talk about real quick is the Avalanche, only because they won the cup last year. But they're 5-4. They're sitting 500, and they're playing weird hockey. I don't like it. I feel like every time I'm looking at them at a betting line and they're favored, they lose if it's more than a goal. But any close game or any TNT primetime game, that's when they show up and win. They're a very weird hockey team this year, but that's my biggest takeaways from the first 2 weeks of this season. If you want any other like little nitty-gritty news, sorry, Luke should be here. I don't know what else to tell you, people, but that is all that I have for hockey. And that only means one thing. There's only 2 sports left. And now it's time to get into the sport that I've been dying to actually talk about. The sport that we have been waiting 2 weeks to talk about in the same board of hockey. But the difference between hockey and this sport is that I actually know a lot more about this sport. So I'll stop teasing you people and we'll just get right into the basketball. God damn it, I thought there was a basketball one, but there isn't. It's okay. It's fine. I would buzzer myself right now if I could. Oh, wait. I can. I'm here to entertain myself, people, and I'm here to entertain you. What do you want me to do? Okay? I'm just a man out here trying to make work for himself, trying to provide the news for everything that you guys need to do, and now I'm just rambling, talking to myself, so I'll put some applause on to cut myself. Alrighty. Before this shit just gets off the rails, let's get into the NBA news. So, starting off, we're going to talk about it, and we're going to rip the Band-Aid right off. Los Angeles Lakers are 0-5. Yeah, all right? Let's hear it. I know. I already know. The Los Angeles Lakers this year, they're just a fucking X. They're horrible. And it's absolutely unbelievable when you have a team that is Anthony Davis, Patrick Beverley, Russell Westbrook, LeBron James on paper. No one's been hurt. They've all been healthy, and they are 0-5. The only other time they were 0-5 is when LeBron was in his rookie year. Okay, see, now I'm concerned. So now you're telling me that we're in a spot here where the Lakers are 0-5. LeBron is probably not going to make playoffs once again. And I'm supposed to tell myself as a LeBron fan that it's just going to be another year of shit getting better when he's getting older and the timeline is just looking worse. No, okay? I'm going to cut it to you straight. What's going to be funny is at the deadline when the Lakers are buyers with the lineup they already have because they can't get to 500. They're going to be buyers, and they're probably still going to have to deal with Anthony Davis getting injured because only the good Lord knows that he will. Russell Westbrook's still playing like absolute dog shit. Patrick Beverley's going to fight people. And who does that leave? Just LeBron. At least DoorDash is hitting game winners. We'd love to see that. But the Lakers season is going to just fall back into the trash can, and they're playing for the play-in. Great. They're playing for the play-in. Love to see that again. Things just aren't changing. That was just the first thing I had to get out of the way because I knew that one was going to make me the angriest. But now we'll get into a situation that just makes you want to scratch your head because you don't like the politicalness. But it's a little too political, and if there's any sport that likes to get political, it's basketball. And if there's any man that doesn't mind getting a little political, it's Kyrie Irving. I'm going to try to get through this as quickly as possible because I hate politics. But Kyrie Irving, he has officially been suspended for 5 games. He is on the exact same thing that Kanye is on, and he has been suspended because he didn't apologize. And now I am not going to give my opinion because I'm on the internet and it's in 2022 and I'm not fucking stupid. Are you kidding me? You think I would give my opinion on this right now? I am walking into the line of fire on Twitter. You're crazy. I'm going to tell you what happened. I'm going to give no opinion on this and move right along. He has been suspended for 5 games, and he says that to the Nets, this is what the Nets says, that he has at least apologized on social media. So, Kyrie Irving, 5 games out. He'll be back. The Nets are playing okay ball. Like I said, you're not going to get my opinion. You ain't going to put me in that line of fire. No way, no ma'am. But next thing that we have is 76ers just dropped some bad news today. And that is James Harden is expected to miss the next 4 to 6 weeks. They're looking at about a month on the timetable with a foot injury. And it sucks because I feel like when it comes to Philadelphia this year, they've been playing really good ball. Not that they weren't expected to be playing really good ball, but, and when I say really good ball, I don't mean that as much as you think I do. I mean they haven't been fucking up last year where it was only Embiid and then maybe Maxey on every other night. Consistency from Harden and consistency from Maxey. My only one issue with 76ers, and it's the only reason they're at a 500 record right now. Embiid has not been playing MVP basketball, and the problem is that last year his MVP basketball numbers were so crazy that he's still averaging 27 fucking points a game. And yet, over here, it's like 9 points less than he was last year all year. And the only thing that people are really saying he's doing is rebounding. I think they're on crack, and I think Philly's going to figure it out. You know, as a matter of fact, they have a game, 7 o'clock, against the Knicks tonight. They're only minus 3.5. Oh, baby. Smack that bitch at home. I'm sorry, bro. You got to smack her like a hooker on fucking Broad Street. You just got to do it, man. You just got to do it. And I think that if you really like the way that they're playing as much as I do, you'll have confidence in Embiid and Maxey to do what they did all last year when Harden was on the court, not really producing the second half of the year, currently just without him. So that's what I have to say on that. Other news that I want to get into is kind of similar of what I did for the NHL. There's a couple teams that I want to talk about first 2 weeks of the season, just because it's been 2 weeks of basketball that's been taking place. So, you know, there's some teams that I want to talk about because of their record. And like I said, if they're looking like they're going to be dogs this year, or they're looking like they just have luck in the beginning of the season. Because there's always some teams that will start really hot and then they'll just fall right off. And then there's always some teams that will just never fall off, like Phoenix last year. Speaking of Phoenix, I want to start with them. They're on the same BS they were last year. Devin Booker broke a record first 3 games into the season for most points averaged in the first 3 games of regular season by a Phoenix Sun. They're 6-1. They are 5-0 at home, and they have been playing phenomenal basketball. Every team that I've been watching them play and I've been rooting for, like the Mavericks, like the Warriors, in these games, they've been continuing to win. They've been putting in good games, but they've also been taking close games and making them not close in the fourth quarter. I've seen them do it good team after good team after good team. And if they continue to do that this year, that's going to be huge for this team. That's going to be huge for Phoenix. And as far as I'm concerned, every single person's been clicking on that offense when it comes down to D-Book, Michael, CP3, and Ayton. Jesus, I knew I was missing one more. But you love to see it if you're a Phoenix Suns fan. And the other team I want to talk about that I think is in that same category, 7-0, Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis has been playing phenomenal basketball. The team around him has been doing their job, and that's all that they need to do, and you love to see that. So I'm just going to point out right now that Milwaukee being 7-0 and this being the best start that they've ever had since they've acquired Giannis, and Giannis has now won an MVP, that's very dangerous for the rest of the league. They're also 6-0 at home, but they're also 1-0 on the road. So you also might be like, they've had 6 home games and 1 away game. Should we factor that into their 7 games? You can, but when they take this 7-game, I believe it is a 7-game road slate, that's going to be a big fucking determining factor in whether or not they were just playing really good lucky home ball or they're dogs this year. I'm going to put them under the dog category because Giannis has been playing some of the best basketball I've seen in his career, and that's saying something. Like, I don't have to express what that even means. But the next team I want to get into is the Cleveland Cavaliers, only because they're also 6-1. Donovan Mitchell has been acquired. Darius Garland, they're all fitting in. Last year, me and Jesse were talking about how perfectly this team has a chance to gel if the chemistry is rolling with Mobley and Jarrett Allen underneath the basket and that front court, that top 3 up there. And they've been doing it perfectly. The bench has been coming on and continuing that role. They have a plus 11.9 point differential going into every game this year. They have the highest average points that I am currently seeing on this chart other than New Orleans. And Milwaukee is and Cleveland is a damn good team this year, in my opinion. So far, so good. I do want to talk about this team, though. Utah. Utah is 6-3. Utah is not supposed to be 6-3. Utah is now in a situation where they sold everybody, and this is the first year where we're looking at them to take a drop off, and we're looking for Utah to come in. And if I'm being completely honest with you, we're looking for Utah to tank. We're like, this is going to be most arguably the first time that Utah comes in and doesn't have a good year. But all of a sudden, I just realized I didn't send Jesse an email. Because he said he was going to come into the podcast. I said, I got you. And then he just basically said that I didn't send him an email. So, Jesse, I know you're watching this right now. If you can iMessage text me your email, I can send that bitch to you. On the computer. I promise you. So, if you can do that on iMessage and you can send me your email, I can send you this and you can get in and join me for the rest of this podcast. So, that offer is on that table for you, Jesse. Now, where was I? Sorry, I had to get back into the news. Oh yeah, Utah. Once again, 6-3. Not a lot of people probably understand why they're 6-3. So I'll try to give you just a little bit of, the best knowledge that I can. It starts with really two people, Lauri Markkanen and Mike Conley. And those are the only two people that I really seen on this court that have been producing for them like that. Lauri Markkanen, 21.7 points a game. When it comes to Mike Conley, he's at 7.1 points per game. So I think that those two right now have been probably the main factor of what's been going on. And if you're wondering, hey, Dylan, why are you looking off into the distance? It's because I'm currently getting Jesse in here so that he can talk to me about the rest of this basketball and the World Series. So really, you just need to bear with me. But I can multitask because I'm really good at this. So as I'm putting in his email, we're going to talk about the Blazers. Dame is finally having a good start, 6-1. We love to see that for Dame, and we love to see that for the Blazers. Bang. Send. There you go, Jesse. That bitch is sent. All right. He should be joining us shortly, people. But back to the Blazers and back to Damian Lillard. He has been playing great basketball, but the thing is, I'm going to say it. I said it about a couple teams earlier. I think it's only a matter of time before he falls off. If Jeremy Grant falls off, because he has been the one person that is making CJ look a little bad, because CJ and him were coming in and they were going 500. They were starting off the year. Honestly, every year it felt like they were behind. That's how it seemed to me. And now going into this year, they have a great start. They have what do you call it? A lot better chemistry on the court. Their ball movement has been the number one thing that I've noticed. That from this year to last year, it seems like when they panic, they need something to do, they need a decision. They throw it to Dame, he makes the play, and then that's what it is. Now I feel like they've been using their center, they've been using Dame, and they've been using Jeremy Grant, and that's three people instead of one, and that's going to make it a lot easier for you to produce, in my opinion. So shout out to them. Only got a couple more teams here. Oh, man, clicked on too many things, and it caught me in a goddamn trap. Here we go. Perfect. Going over to – this one's weird, too. The Golden State Warriors. They are 3-6, and I am not alone. Jesse Carter, new station, new place. How are you feeling?
Feeling good, I'm feeling nice. Can I be heard well? Because I had to pull up the phone today.
You can be heard better than I've ever heard you in the past.
That's interesting because I'm in a basement on my phone.
I don't know what it is, but I can actually hear you perfectly.
Well, hello guys. It's been a while. Hope everybody's doing swell. But man, them Blazers.
Well,
I like how they look so far.
100%.
They've been playing some solid ball compared to what they have.
Yeah, I think Jeremy Grant's been that main piece. I think he's been that main guy that's come in, and that ball movement has been so much better. The assist numbers from Dame have been up more than ever before in his past 3 years. I think that he's the main guy I got to contribute all of that to.
They've never had a solid small forward, to be honest.
That's true. But another team I want to get into right now, Jesse, is a team that is 3-6. The Golden State Warriors.
I know, right?
They are 3-6 this year, and I know that I'm not the only one that is currently surprised by this because nobody's hurt. Poole's been playing. Curry's been playing. Clay's been playing.
Clay missed a game
Clay missed a game. Okay.
against us.
And then you look at Curry, and he's still dropping 31 points per game. So now you want to be like, what's the problem? And I'll give you a hint. It starts with a D, and it ends with a fence. And they haven't played it all year long.
Nope. Because usually they can outscore people, and their defense is good, but it's never been, like, dominant. They just outscore you along with stopping you on a couple key plays. And then they get too far ahead of you, and then you're like, oh, shit, we're down by 16. But I don't know. They have not been able to drop as much as they usually drop, I feel like.
No, I don't think they have.
Their percentages aren't that well.
I think that I don't know what it is this year. That I can contribute to just, maybe a little bit of rust on offense. But I can count 3 games this year that they should have won if they played a lick of defense. Like, I'm talking Detroit Lions style. Like, if you made one stop, you would have won the game, bro. But you didn't make any if it felt like all game. Or if the one time you did make a stop, you came down and missed. And it felt like that was in multiple games this year. And it made me think, why is this happening to the Warriors? And the only thing that my brain can circulate from watching Golden State the past 5-6 years is that they're just in a slump and they're going to go on a 10-game win streak. That's the only thing that my brain can tell me.
At some point, they'll level up.
That's what I think. I don't think it's going to be long that they're sitting in this spot because they are still the Golden State Warriors.
They're just having gelling problems with Wiseman.
I would say I agree 100%. But their young guys performed a lot better last year than I feel like they have been this year. And that's that same core of guys.
No, it's not. They don't have THT.
Okay, -1. But I mean, the main 3 in Kuminga, Wiseman, and Poole, they're still there.
Yeah, Kuminga really hasn't been doing as much as
The
he
cum
has.
bucket?
But Wiseman, he didn't do that much.
He really did, bro.
Wiseman barely played last year, to be honest, I feel like.
I think that the thing about Wiseman is that he had so much media hype before, but it wasn't about basketball before he entered. And then you had all this hype around him, and he wasn't doing nothing.
Nope.
But we got 3 more teams to get into. Jesse, if you're a smart man like me, we're not gonna touch this Kyrie Irving thing, okay? But I do need you to talk to me about the Brooklyn Nets and their 2-6 record.
I mean, Steve Nash departed. Like, they no longer have Steve Nash as head coach. It was mutual agreement. Things obviously haven't been the best in the organization. Now they're dealing with Kyrie having to be in another spotlight problem. That he didn't even intend for it to go this way, but it has gone this way.
It didn't, though. But the problem is that when
cancel culture, that's the problem. But I'm not going to
get it. Same reason we're not even going to give our opinion on it. I said it earlier. Are you crazy in 2022? You think I give my opinion on this on Twitter? You're fucking crazy. There's no way. You couldn't pay me enough, honestly. I was going to say you had to pay me, but you couldn't pay me enough. But I agree with everything that you're saying. My question to you is, after these 5 games, they're not winning more than 3 games without Kyrie. So at the best, they're looking at 4-10. What do they do? Like, how do they? Because I feel like they're in a different spot where even though they've had high caliber players last year and this year, you're not seeing it on the court.
It's for the fact that Ben Simmons has not been able to do anything he was supposed to.
He's still a little bitch, bro.
Let's
just tell it what it is, bro. He's still a little bitch.
It's his fault.
I can't stand him.
He's the reason.
Ben Simmons is the worst. You know what? Fuck him, man. Where is it? I'm gonna find it. You know what? That goes for the past 2 weeks. That's America's stinker the past 2 weeks because we couldn't get the week before. So you're a stinker week 1. You come back, fucking stinker week 2. So congratulations, Ben Simmons. You still suck at basketball, and you're still scared to shoot. Did you see it? He had a wide lane on a 1-on-1 to pass. He stopped at the free throw line, took 3 steps back, and passed to Embiid. God damn it! He just makes me so angry at times
He
because
passed to Embiid.
he's just the worst. All right.
You know you said that, right?
I meant to say Harden.
Harden.
I think he passed it to Harden.
Can we talk about that?
We did. I did talk about that.
Man, I
You
missed
have any
it.
thoughts on that, though? 4 to 6 weeks, no Harden. Here's what I said. I said that it doesn't hurt them that much because last year they had to play the entire first half of the year, Tyrese Maxey and Embiid, and that's what they have to do now for a month. That's the only thing that I don't think hurts them too much because they're just going to play that same style of basketball. They're going to go 500, and then they need to get Harden back, and they need to go above that hump. I'm just going to say, do you disagree with any of that?
No, I don't.
All
It's
right.
just funny how we went from talking about the Nets to the 76ers.
Oh yeah, and it's funny how both of them are below 500 this year.
Yeah.
But another team that's below 500, and you know what, Jesse, I'm gonna let you tell me what the problem is because I don't know. So you can just tell me. Detroit Pistons, 2-7.
What do you mean? What's the problem? It's not. We're just
Like
There's
it's just bad. It's just bad. But I feel like
there's
it
better
shouldn't be
ball
bad.
club. There's
I feel like
better
it
ball
shouldn't-
teams.
It shouldn't be bad though. Like it shouldn't be 2-7.
How many games do you expect us to win this season?
Man, I'm gonna be dead ass with you. I don't expect us to be a playoff team. I expect us to be like, let's say play in is like the 12 seed or whatever. I expect us to be 13
Okay.
by like 5-6 games out. You know what I mean?
So
Like,
that
we're 5-6
technic,
games under 500.
you're
but I
saying
don't think-
about 34, 35 wins?
At this point, first 10 games of the season, if you would ask me what's the worst I thought we would have been, I would have told you 4-6. I would have said 4-6, and the best we would have been is 6-4. I would have said in those 3 range get. 2-7 concerns me.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to be concerned when our best player is Bogdanovich right now? I feel like I am.
I don't know. It's inconsistent shot making.
I agree. It is stressful shot taking.
Yeah.
All right.
Don't
It's
start me.
it's annoying. It's annoying. I feel like we don't know what to do. So that's just great. Thanks, Detroit.
We just need time for melding.
Yeah, maybe it's all just time. Maybe
A lot of these guys are playing with each other for the first or second time. Like,
Yeah, I know, and I'm supposed to play this gel game, but at the same time, I've been told to wait time. How much time does a Detroit fan have?
no. It's not like basketball is a whole nother sport. You only got about 17 guys. If you
You
swap
only
out,
have 82 games.
but if you swap out 3 players in your starting rotation, bro, it's gonna take a little bit for them to understand each other's movements.
That's true.
You gotta give it a little bit of time.
What about Houston? Do they need time? 1-9.
They're Houston.
But I thought
Haven't
Jabari
been
Smith
the
and Jalen Green are supposed
James
to be
Harden
this
left.
duo, though.
But they haven't been the same since Harden left.
The dookie, bro. Everyone was telling me about Jabari Smith and fucking Jalen Green, and they're gonna be some duo this year. Shut up.
Better than the Rockets? The Magic?
The Rockets are the worst team in the league by fucking
Yeah.
3 games. No, 2 games. Magic are better than my 2 games, and then also by 3 games. But still, god damn it. It's really irritating. All right, you kind of came in a little late, so if there's anything you have to add from the first 2 weeks of basketball, just fucking spew it, and then we'll get into downtown cash picks.
I like how Jaden Ivey's been playing when he's been valid. But at the same time, there can be improvement everywhere, and we know this. No one's perfect.
Oh, I agree 100%. And I think that Jaden Ivey has been a light spot. Him and Bojan, those have been the 2 light spots. Make it easier to watch fucking Detroit games. All right, here we go, Jesse. Downtown cash picks. I don't even think anybody has a record. I don't recall us doing a single game this year.
I don't think we should start on a 1-1. You know,
We are literally going to start. I was gonna say, if you want to start now, we can start now because I have the games. But if you don't want to start, we don't have to. Or I can just flip a coin and we can let God decide.
I like option 3.
All right, heads, we do it. Tails, we wait.
Heard.
Hey Siri, flip a coin. Oh, you can't even hear, but you can see. It's tails.
We wait another week.
So we will wait one more week. But if you heard me earlier, you know how I feel about the lock that I gave you. Take the 76ers minus 3.5 against the Knicks at home. Bada bing, bada boom. All right, final sport we have to get into, and I've been waiting to talk about this sport. Oh, baby. Let's just do it, all right?
And now it's game 5 of the World Series.
Like, look at where we are. Also, I haven't even sparked this bitch up because Jesse wasn't here yet. So just for the people one time, just got to hit a low tide, low tide, low tide, low tide, low tide. Just because, I didn't do it earlier because it didn't feel right just by myself. And I was like, who am I even singing to? I'm just singing to myself. So, you're back and the vibes are back and the World Series is fucking here and we're just ready to go. The people that have been living under a rock or you've been only following sports through our podcast, and if that has been the case, you're so loyal. Thank you. Like, that's unbelievable. You're kind of fucking crazy, but it means a lot to us. Makes us feel good.
Not wrong.
If we will get into the MLB news, and by MLB news, I mean World Series. So when it comes to the World Series, Philadelphia Phillies, Houston Astros. Now, I made sure to put in my notes before this series started what my prediction was, and I had the Philadelphia Phillies in 7 games.
I had 6, and I've been saying that very consistently.
And you have them in 6, and this is very interesting because we are currently sitting at a pretty damn good series, but the problem is, Jesse, that 6 cannot be happened.
Yeah, I lost. Okay.
That 6 cannot be happened.
But I wasn't going to change my opinion just so it could be valid.
No, I respect that. I respect that. And the only reason why I can validate it is because I told Tyler at the bar in fucking East Lansing that's what I had when game 1 was on.
So
but what?
The Phillies are going to win 2 games back to back in Houston's home and devastate the Astros fan base.
I don't see a better way for it to play out. Now,
if you want to pass out.
If you want to talk about how this series has been, for me, it's just been Philly has been electric. That's what's carried them all the way even into the World Series. What has even got them this far? They've just been playing electric baseball. But here's my problem. I'll just cut it to you straight, man. I'll just cut it to you straight, Jesse. Philly needed to win yesterday.
Hey, you know what's the tragic thing about yesterday? Realmuto hammered that bitch.
He did.
Like, it would have left in about half of the ballparks, but Philly ain't in that half.
Philly's a bitch to hit out of.
And then the catch happened. But they really could have won that game because we know that ball drops. Bryce up to bat. Whole nother ball game with somebody on base.
Philly was winning.
Whole nother ball game with somebody on second or third.
My only issue is okay, and I'm allowed to feel the way I do. Philly is 50-21 at home this year. They are 106-56 in the MLB. You need to go into Houston in a World Series atmosphere and win back-to-back games in Houston. It's fucking tough, man. I'm just gonna say it, man. It's tough, okay? You have Yordan Alvarez who's hitting just unbelievable baseball. Altuve, I hate to say, has been popping off. Houston, when they wake up at home, they pile the runs on. But at the same time, the only time that they've done that is when we've been with a trash can. And all this year, the allegations of them cheating and doing this and that BS, I just hate them like everyone else. I can be a sports bettor on this and that. You're going to get your picks where we're fucking gambling on this and that. But when it comes to being an average sports fan, it's fuck the Houston Astros. Just average sports fan. You're a casual or you're a diehard. That's how it is. So I'm going to take Philly in 7. I'm going to continue to take Philly in 7.
That's
They
all.
have to win Game 6, and they need to win Game 7.
You know what's the problem, though? First of all, they allowed a no-hitter.
Yeah, we'll talk about that, too.
Like, that team who has been hammering balls the whole playoffs.
That was what they were doing, just nuking bombs.
Like,
That was their whole thing.
they hit all the balls they could hit the game before and then came back and couldn't hit it once.
And that's unbelievable, man, when you think about it. That's the second World Series no-hitter. The first one thrown since 1955. And that bitch was a perfect game.
They tied the home run record the game before.
Right? So that's the problem right there. They used all the goddamn momentum meter in Game 1. That bitch was sitting at 0 Game 2, and they couldn't get a hit off. I tell you right now, I like their momentum. I like their power. I think that one of these two games, you're going to get a fucking 8-9, 7-6 ball game. You're going to get a back and forth. You always get it in Houston. You get that one fucking game where it was against the Nationals. And then you had it when it was against the Dodgers and against the Yankees when they were cheaters. So I think it's just going to happen again, and it's going to be against Phillies. Game 6 is what I'm looking at.
Is that today?
But Game 7 would be better.
Game 6 today or tomorrow?
Tomorrow. It is at Saturday, and the game time for that is, I believe, at 8 o'clock, but I will double check that. 8:03.
I'm probably going to watch that.
Yeah, I probably would too, man. And I would throw your money on fucking Philly. Come on now. With that, I have no more that needs to be said. Jesse, do you have anything you just want to let the people know about? Just I don't care if it's fucking sports related or not. Just anything you want to say.
Javier better not pitch Game 7. He better not pitch Game 7. Because if he pitches Game 7, they have no choice but to hammer. Or he owns.
I agree 100%. Oh, man. With that music, that's the outro. Jesse, are you joining us tomorrow? Tomorrow morning?
Nope.
Okay. Well, tomorrow morning, you're going to get me and you're going to get my brother. For those of you who are unfamiliar, we have been 8-3 1 week in NFL, 8-3 the week before. When it comes to college, last week, I went 9-1. What I'm trying to say is I'm red hot. I'm on a roll. I don't know what's happening. These numbers are just not human-like when it comes to fucking sports betting, especially in football. But we're going to take it. We're going to ride it, and we're going to see how long this wave just lasts. So that's what we're going to do tomorrow. We're going to hit you back with another fucking 11 plays in the NFL. We're going to hit you back with probably another 9-10 plays in college. For anyone that wants any merchandise, go to sixpackcoverage.com. For anyone that wants to see us on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram, at RiderTide586. On Twitter, that's at RiderTide.
You know where.
Podcast. You know what the deal is. When it comes to the schedule, we are trying to look at it like this. Tuesdays and Thursdays are probably going to work better than Mondays and Wednesdays because nobody's ever wants to do a Monday podcast. Everybody's always busy. Everyone's dead. We're looking at availability, and me and Jesse will just continue to roll in low tides on Wednesday. That's looking like how we'll probably try to schedule up. And I'm just letting you guys know because Monday pod, I can tell you right now, are probably at the fucking window. So next time we'll talk to you is tomorrow morning. I have nothing left to add. We think I covered all my bases. Hell yeah. Without that, this is McDilly. That's the Wonder. You guys all have a great night. Peace.
Adios.